So coming off the previous chapter, we saw that the Hero Association was going to sell Psychos as a prisoner to this Esper organization called Tsukuyomi. And this turns out that this is the same organization that took Tatsumaki when she was a child. And that being said, Tatsumaki was actually aware of their intentions of going after Psychos. So she told Fubuki beforehand so that they had a plan going forward in order to get Psychos so that Tsukuyomi wouldn't be able to. And it led to them all converging in the Hero Association, and the resulting battle caused Saitama to fall through the ground into a monster containment facility, but we'll come back to that because coming into the beginning of this chapter, we see the fight between the Tsukuyomi guy and Tatsumaki continuing, and yeah, as was established, Tatsumaki is way stronger than this guy, and he's pretty much aware of it himself too. But the next thing that he does here is one of the most interesting and weird things I've ever seen in this series. So somehow he activates this capsule of quote-unquote sleep medicine inside of Fubuki, and then threatens to break a capsule full of deadly poison, in order to get Tatsumaki to stop. And at first I was like, wait, when did he put this inside of her? And then I was like, did I miss a subtle little panel of her flicking it in her mouth or something? And it's like, no, it actually turns out this happened way beforehand, because this was premeditated, because he says that he slipped it into her daily beauty supplements, which I guess was biotin and other stuff, but he was able to do this because he had a mole in the Blizzard group. And now you're also thinking wait, who is that? It has to be one of the three major members, right? Eyelashes, Mountain Ape, and Lily. And I was like, oh, that's interesting if one of them turn heel. And I was like, maybe not Eyelashes, maybe Lily? But now it turns out that it's none of them. It's just some random new member that I guess was introduced in these last couple chapters. So that kind of takes the emotional weight off of one of the established characters being the traitor, but this guy who is the traitor is clearly a part of Tsukuyomi because we see that he is an Esper, but also has the scar on the left side of his face, which indicates that he is an artificial Esper, which Tatsumaki says that this Joker looking guy is as well. And I also think we're seeing the scar here to specifically indicate that yes, these are artificial Espers, because it also matches up with the scar that Gearspur has. I think I might have talked about this before, but I also think that Tsukuyomi is responsible for making Gearspur into an Esper. And I also wouldn't be surprised if Gearspur is this guy's brother, and they're kind of the opposite of Tatsumaki and Fubuki, because Gearspur has also said that him seeing Tatsumaki go all out somehow made him unlock his own powers, and he was able to do that crazy feat against Neon. So maybe Gearspur is the male Tatsumaki, and this guy's the male Fubuki possibly. I don't know, I'm just speculating. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, HelloFresh. Looking for an easy way to eat well and save money this year? Cut back on expensive takeout and delivery and get started with HelloFresh. You'll love how fast, easy, and affordable it is to whip up a restaurant quality meal right in your own kitchen. I'm sure you've got New Year's goals, and HelloFresh is here to help you achieve them. Skip the grocery store and take control of your time and budget with delicious recipes delivered right to your door. And that being said, eating well is top of mind this month, and it's comforting to know that you always get top quality with HelloFresh. Because ingredients travel from the farm to you in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. Guys, I gotta admit, I love HelloFresh. I made the yogurt marinated chicken with garlic sauce, and not only was it surprisingly fun, but it also tasted incredible. They're not lying about restaurant quality. HelloFresh also helps me with the grind of YouTube. I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna eat next, or what I'm gonna prepare, or if I'm gonna order something, because it's all here for me. And it's also stress relieving. So guys, go to HelloFresh.com and use code Zhoniin21 for 21 free meals plus free shipping. I'll have the links in the description. Thanks, guys. But anyway, like I said, Tatsumaki complied with the Joker guy when he had threatened to release the poison capsule in Fubuki, and then he just literally folds her psychically, in an attempt to take her as well, because Tsukuyomi's all about taking Espers and experimenting on them, especially the natural born ones and the three powerful, such as Fubuki, Tatsumaki, and Psychos. And as he's about to leave, Saitama winds up destroying all of those monsters from the facility that he fell into at the end of the previous chapter, saving everyone in the process, but also giving him an excuse to be in this area at this moment in time. But also while this was happening, Tatsumaki was able to locate the capsule inside of Fubuki. And once again, one of the most interesting and weird things I've seen in this series happens in this sequence, because Tatsumaki turns the poison capsule into a needle, similar to what she did with the pillar against Orochi, and shoots it out of Fubuki's stomach stomach and makes it go into the eye of the Tsukuyomi guy. Like, this is gnarly. Like, one of the most vicious things we've seen a hero do to another human, to be honest. But it turns out that he has a resistance to the poison, which is understandable. And then Tatsumaki straight up hits him with the Chibaku Tensei. And I guess he's done, or at least for now. And it looks like Tatsumaki has, won the day. She has Psychos and Fubuki back. But no, it turns out that this is just the beginning of Tatsumaki going back into heel mode, because we see her reiterating that rhetoric to Fubuki about basically exiling herself from everyone, namely the Blizzard group. But Tatsumaki basically just wants Fubuki to be alone and almost to be like entirely reliant on Tatsumaki herself. It's like, yeah, it's really messed up, but also another reason that Tatsumaki is like this is obviously because of her upbringing, which is also tied to Tsukuyomi. And this sequence goes so far as to where Tatsumaki's like threatening to, I guess you could say, like pseudo kill the Blizzard group, because she's like, I'll just kill you enough to where you won't die, enough to make sure you'll never work again as heroes. So yeah, like Tatsumaki full-blown heel mode here, something that she's always been teeter-tottering with throughout the series. Like against Sairochi, she was full-blown babyface, but now she's definitely dipping back into the heel territory for sure. But it's very necessary considering where we're going to be going in these next couple chapters, because Saitama shows up and grabs Tatsumaki by the wrist. So like I said, Tatsumaki going heel here is necessary because of Saitama showing up. And he's like, good grief, you siblings are just like each other. This is going too far just to lecture your sister. Why should heroes have to beat each other up? And that's where the chapter ends. So it's like things are getting super spicy now, because it's also been culminating to this, right? We've been waiting to see Saitama confront Tatsumaki, or vice versa, just these two finally to butt heads, and now it's finally gonna happen. And Saitama does have some motivation here, because he knows that Tatsumaki is technically responsible for destroying his apartment. So that's like his big beef here, and mix that with the mood that Tatsumaki's in right now, the situation that's going on, it's all coming to a boiling point. And that being said, there's probably going to be some kind of altercation in the next chapter, right? And I'm sure we're all thinking, like, what would happen in a fight between them? Or a quote-unquote Saitama fight. Now, also keep in mind, Saitama is currently not as powerful as he was against Cosmic Figaro in chapter 167. Or at least I assume that he isn't. Like, I think that when the future Saitama fused together with the present Saitama, his quote-unquote power level kind of reset. So he's back to the level, I guess, he was at when he got blown away by like that gamma ray burst. So it's like that Saitama versus Tatsumaki, and I think we've seen near her full potential, right, against Sairochi. It's like, how much of it is a challenge for him? And I'm not really sure. It might be possibly in the same tier as like released Boros, maybe even Meteoric Burst Boros. Not really sure, but that's why it's so interesting. And I just hope we get to see something really spectacular in these next couple chapters. But let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys. And if you liked the video, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.